What's up, guys? It's Bad Beat from Onslaught giving you our Cinch Gaming Controller review. Head on over to onslaughtclan.com and we'll actually have this video along with a full written review posted so you guys can check out and determine whether or not you want to pick up a Cinch controller. One of the first things you'll notice about this controller, we've got two optional features. We've got the domed left stick. We also have a red LED. With the red LED, we were actually really surprised because the coloration on the website, it looks like it's washed out. It almost looks like the red is a pink color. We kind of just went with it, obviously, to go with our clan colors, but I was a little hesitant because I figured it was just going to look like a washed out pink, and it really doesn't. It's a very nice red. It looks really sweet. I would highly recommend the coloration on here. Obviously, we don't have like the other additional colors, but if the red is any indication, the other colors should shine through pretty well too. We actually have, what you'll notice here probably, is a control freak on the right hand side. I'll pop that off so you can see the other stick, assuming I can get it off. There we go. The other stick is just a normal Xbox One stick. It does have the little texturized edge here like the Xbox One controller does. It is nice if you don't want to use the control freak. We would highly recommend it though. Control Freak, like I said, they're about, I think they end up being about $10 if you use our affiliate code, which will save you 10%. That code is AFF Onslaught Clan. That's AFF Onslaught Clan, or Onslaught Clan, for the 10% off on the Control Freak. We pretty much use them religiously at this point. We've been using them, since the 360, and I can't even play with it anymore without having one. Now you can see like the dome stick on the left-hand side. I was pretty hesitant to actually pick one of these up because this is the first controller I've used that had a dome stick. It's actually really nice. I've been playing with it a lot over the weekend. The texture is really good. You can see it grips your thumb. I'm pulling pretty hard and my thumb is staying on there. The size is really good. I was expecting it to be a little bit bigger, which I didn't necessarily want. So this is like perfect for my size hands, and I have a normal adult size hand. You can see the coloration on here. We did speak with Cinch. They do put multiple levels of clear coat. I mean, you can see the shine on here. Solid, sweet looking controller. I'm not even going to lie. They do have multiple other finishes too. We've seen the batch that came out at the same time that our controller did, and there were some pretty cool carbon fiber looking skins. And I know that Cinch is actually working on some additional colorations as well. Obviously, the biggest feature of the Cinch is going to be these little guys here, the buttons. We've got ours mapped obviously to the Pro Style, the A and B. You'll notice that the big difference between the Cinch and the Scuf is there's no back paddles. This was kind of a big selling point for us just because we've had multiple Scuf controllers that have had broken paddles. The other feature in the back too is you've got the trigger stops. You can see those. Trigger stops are nice. They're actually the same color as the trigger, so they kind of blend in, as opposed to the old Scufs, which were more of a silver color. I'm really hopeful that these trigger stops are going to hold up. They look like they're a little bit better, and the hole might be a little bit better in terms of the drilling. I had on my competitive Scuf, the trigger stop on the trigger side actually broke, which is a severe disadvantage at this point. The one thing we will want to point out about the trigger stops is that they are not adjustable in terms of height. You can take them out if you'd like. So if you're playing a game that you need to have the trigger stops out, you can just remove those. I wouldn't advise it multiple times because you obviously will mess with the threading that's in the trigger itself, and it could cause it to crack. We did speak with Cinch, and they are working on a prototype trigger that will allow you to actually adjust the trigger up or down. In our testing, we did find that in Call of Duty Ghosts, the trigger itself fired about halfway down where the trigger stop would actually meet the rest of the controller. So there was a little bit of a gap there, a little bit of a, I don't want to call it really a lag, but there's a delay essentially from the time you start firing until the time that trigger stop hits the base of this controller. It's not much. It really wasn't. It didn't affect our performance at all, but it is something that the Cinch is aware of and they are working on, which will make this controller even better. Trying to think if there's much else here that we need to talk about. Like I said, performance-wise, awesome. It's very, very comparable to a Scuf controller. We actually did find that I prefer the buttons on the back of this thing. I always had a harder time reaching, for the back paddles. You can see, like, usually the paddles are going to be in this area. A little harder to hold the phone and the camera while I'm showing you this angle, but it was always more of a stretch. And one of the selling points that Cinch has is that with the buttons being right here where your fingers are, it's even quicker to hit those. Pretty big deal. I found that, you know, it was a lot easier to do jump shots. It was a lot easier actually to do the infamous ghost panic knifing. Even though obviously as a pro we don't condone panic knifing, but it does happen from time to time. I won't lie, guys. But the button's awesome. The placement couldn't be better. You can use multiple fingers in the back. You know, you can use your middle finger, your index finger, I should say your ring finger, whatever feels most comfortable, whatever fits your hands best. The weighting on these, obviously it's a wireless controller, so it does use batteries in the back. We had the rumble packs taken out of this thing, so it is extremely light. Even with the battery in there, it is probably half the weight of a standard Xbox One controller. With the batteries in, it does make it a little more top heavy, which makes you essentially kind of have the controller tip down like this when you're playing, so it's a little more level. Really wasn't a bad thing whatsoever. Most of the time, you know, you're going to be sitting and your hands are going to be resting on a table or your arms of your chair or even like your legs, and it makes it more of a natural position. Instead of holding your controller up like this, where you've got strain on your wrist here, you're essentially just going to be playing flat like this. Very comfortable to play. Overall, extremely solid controller. We would highly recommend it. Like I said, with or without a control freak, this thing was very solid. You had great movement. You know, there's no like loose feeling whatsoever in these controllers, like you have with the Xbox One, where it starts to kind of wiggle and wobble before you actually move. The hair trigger is very good. The joystick's very good. All in all, awesome controller. Couldn't recommend Cinch more as an alternative to a Scuf. And if, like I said earlier, if you want to head on over to our website, onslaughtclan.com, pick up the 10% off code for the Control Freak, and also you can get a 5% off your order of your brand new Cinch using our code Onslaught, ONSLAUGHT. Hope you like the review, guys, and like I said, couldn't recommend Cinch more.